This is CG Ruthless Sports. I will be brutally honest. Ain't nothing but being brutally honest. Coming at you with another video.
What is up, everybody? CG is back in the building. Been gone for a few days, but can't feel any better, you know? Haven't streamed in a minute, but hey, what is going on, guys? What is up, Corey Davis? Sorry about that, man. Overslept. Worked a night shift, got tired. So, you know, working night shifts get you pretty tired. So, what is good, everybody? Crazy Juice, what is up, man? So, all right, so let's get on the Drake Jackson topic. I don't know if anybody actually put that as a comparison difference, but I don't know if anybody paid attention to NFL.com. But since there's not much to discuss, let me give you some explanations of why they would probably want to put that comparison of Drake Jackson to Eli Harold. I know some guys are saying, Eli Harold wasn't all that good. Like, why would they compare him? Like, is he going to be another bust? I don't think so. Here's where I come away with the comparison and why it seems similar to compare. Same body weight. They're pretty bulk, right? Their college career was pretty productive, kind of similar. But when you look at the way he played the game, everybody was talking about his athleticism, right? Eli Harold had athleticism. He was bulk strong. He was good out of Virginia. I think the only reason why he didn't pan out with us was because we ran a 3-4 defense. So when you run a 3-4 defense with somebody like Eli Harold's ability, it's not going to work, and they put him outside. So that was exactly what they did to Drake Jackson at UFC. They put him around as an outside backer, right? And I don't think that worked out pretty well. Yep, he's going to be a lot better than Eli Harold. But the comparisons is the athleticism is very similar. The talent-wise, it's there. But he's going to be a lot better than Eli Harold. I'm just saying, like, as far as comparison, like, they both are, they're very athletic. That's where you come away with the comparison. Like, that's where they give him the projection of what he could be. But when you look at the difference, like if Eli Harold would have played in a 4-3 defense, maybe he would have been solid. But nobody would ever know because we played a 3-4 defense. Hey, what's up, Velix Prime Sports? I'm hoping he's going to be better than Eli Harold. But what comes away with the comparison is the knee bends. I think both of them can bend their knees and do a little bit of everything. I think as far as like a talent standpoint, you look at his get off, right? The way he comes off his athleticism. The way they used him in college, the way they did it with Eli Harold too, they did the same exact thing. So maybe that's where you come away with the comparison, but I don't think so, man. When you look at it this way, the more I watch Drake Jackson's game, the more I see more of a younger Aldon Smith. But okay, so best case scenario is he could be an Aldon Smith. Worst case scenario, Eli Harold, which isn't too bad if you put him in the right system. So Eli Harold, you can say, well, he wasn't all that great. Maybe the way our coaching staff used him, he wasn't in the right position to succeed. So that's probably where I go from there. If we would have ran a different scheme then, probably would have been a great fit. But People were hyping Drake Jackson coming out of college. Same we're saying about Eli Harold coming out of college. And we got this kid in the third round. Like in 2015, I believe. We drafted him during that time, and everybody was hyping this kid. I believe it was 2015 or 2004. I forgot which track it was, but I think it was 2015. Because everybody was hyping this guy as a first-round talent also, and then he slid in the third round to us from Virginia. And everybody was talking about his athleticism in some ways too, and his strength and the way he can get off the ball. But at the next level, you look at Drake Jackson's talent, he's got the ability to be like one of the best guys that we haven't had in quite some time. But you can say Nick Bosa is our best pass rusher without a doubt. But Nick Bosa has been praising about how Drake Jackson is the best talent that he's ever seen, and he thinks he can do a lot better than him. Maybe he's talking about athleticism-wise, because he can do a lot. So when you look at the talent, you think of the skill set. You know, Drake Jackson kind of proven that he can play anywhere on the defensive side of the ball. He can even play outside or play a little. I think he played a little bit of the Sam too, but what you like about Drake Jackson is his athleticism. Maybe with proper coaching and maybe the way we utilize him, maybe you'll see a lot better upside. So that's what I like about him. He can come off the rotation and step in and play. That's where I come away with that difference. But Aldon Smith, I think Aldon Smith had his knee bent or something like that. He did some good moves like that. And everybody was Yep, we drafted him in 2015, but it was in the third round out of Virginia. But the point is, I don't know why they came up with that comparison, but for all the Niner faithfuls, don't panic about the Eli Harold comparison. Maybe NFL is just a little off, but we're going by athleticism traits, right? And body type, right? That's where they come away with the comparisons. But I highly doubt he's going to be like another Eli Harold. I think he's going to be more of a Aldon Smith. He's got the arms, he's got the ability to get to the quarterback, and he's a quick learner. So I think with a guy like Nick Bosa and the rest of the defensive linemen, they are going to help Drake Jackson and make sure this kid succeeds at the next level. That's how we look at it. But when you look at the talent and the way he plays the game, he plays with a lot of energy. He plays with a purpose. I mean, he could have stayed another year. But I think if him staying for one more year, he would have easily been a top first-round pick. But no, we got him, so we're good. We like that. I think a lot of these players that declare as a junior, they have a lot of good upside. And you don't even have to start them right away. So what makes it so interesting about Drake Jackson is he doesn't have to start. He doesn't have to. He can just come on the bench and come off the rotation. So when you come off the rotation, you're going to fill in some passing downs, and that's where Drake Jackson could be used the most. I feel like our defensive line, our pass rushers this year, it's a lot talented than last year. Last year, you can say what you want to say, but a lot of our edge rushers weren't all that. All you had was Nick Bosa. All you had was Samson Ebukam and Arden Key. And then Charles Amenu, who came in late, but outside of that, there wasn't much of a productive at the position. Like Jordan Willis came into his own, but the guy had 3 sacks. But the point is, a lot of our guys that we got, Armstead produced maybe like about 6 sacks. And Nick Bosa was pretty much our best player. Arden Key was like a 6.5 sack guy. But now you look at our depth pieces, okay? When you look at our defensive line depth, you look at the guys who potentially will easily make the roster. So I'm going to give you a list of guys that could simply be the huge factor. So Nick Bosa, of course, he's going to make the team because he's our top pick, and we're probably going to pay him by next year. So he's definitely a lock because he produces, and he's our best player. So that's not even a question. So you look at a guy like Kerry Hyder. Okay, you can say what you want. In Seattle, poor coaching. That's why he has 1.5 sack. Poor coaching. That's the factor. Outside of that, when he was playing with us, he had 8.5 sacks. So you can combine the 8.5 sacks production, and you can see where we make the most out of this guy. He's playing on a lower contract, and he wants to prove it. So that's where I come away with that. Samson Ebukam, 4.5 sacks. He's got the athleticism. He's raw. Maybe we start using him better this coming season. So that's what you kind of like. Jordan Willis and what did I know? Komoto Ture, 5.5 sacks from the Colts. This guy he's very raw, very athletic. And you come away impressed. The guy had 5 sacks, but I think he only had 19 tackles, but I think it was based by rotation. So he was pretty raw. So you get this guy on a cheaper deal. Jordan Willis, 3.5 sacks or 3 sacks last year. Very athletic, very raw. What's there not to like? And then Drake Jackson from UFC. You look at production-wise, I think he had 5 sacks last year coming out of USC, but he was just used differently. So you look at production-wise, you look on paper, this is probably one of the best defensive linemen or edge rushers we have had for quite some time. It's a lot better than in 2019. It's a lot better than last year. Hey, Butterfly, my favorite Texas Longhorn girl. What's going on? How's it going? But you look at, yeah, we do have better. Yep, we do. So that's why I say there's a lot of difference. So when people were questioning about that draft pick, people were saying, why do we go for another edge rusher? Here's where I come away with this argument. You need enough edge rushers to get to that quarterback. You can never have enough, right? You got to have enough. You look at teams who have won Super Bowls in the previous years. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers is a great example. They had the blueprint to beat the Chiefs. But then people are going to say, but the Chiefs' offensive line were out. They were injured. That's why they won. You can make a good argument about it. But you look at blueprints like I believe the Rams actually kind of finished out the season with a blueprint, but I don't want to throw their name out there. It's kind of like they fucking cheated. No disrespect, but I'm giving blueprints to teams that actually kind of did the formula, but you gotta come away with what actually stood out for them. The Rams actually finished the fourth quarter with pressuring Joe Burrow. They got to him. So that's blueprint. You got to get to that quarterback. But you look at the previous years of teams that have actually won with defense, but I don't understand why the Niners can't even come away with that blueprint. It's because we don't have a quarterback to finish games. We don't have a quarterback. So that's why we've been coming up short. During the earlier years, like maybe in the 2000s or 1990s, you can win a Super Bowl with a guy like Jimmy Garoppolo, but you can't. You come up short. You come up short because he can't put the game on his shoulder. You can't win with Trent Dilfers. You can't win with Brad Johnson's no more. I mean, you can't win with those kind of quarterbacks. Tom Brady's more of an exceptional because he's been doing it for so many years and he's freaking ageless. But outside of that, you can't win with a regular stationary quarterback in today's NFL. Even if your defense bails you out, you can't win with championships like that. That's just how it is. That's what's made us come up short against the Chiefs. It's because of our quarterback position. And the fact that our play caller was being too damn cute. But I'm hoping he changes his ways when it comes to the playoffs. I'm hoping that he starts to realize when you have a lead, you got to run the clock and start figuring out better ways to utilize it. Hey, everyone. Hopefully Kinlaw could have a breakout season this year. I hope so. I hope so for everything. As far as like Kinlaw, I don't expect him to put on the sacks, the big time sacks. No. Maybe for a guy staying healthy and being a good run stopper, and maybe just have about 3 to 4 sacks, I'm cool with it, 3 to 4 sacks, I'm cool with it. Because I don't expect the big production out of the guy. As long as he's a durable guy and stays healthy and doesn't have any knee issues, then I'll be okay with Kinlaw. But I don't have nothing against Ken Law in any other way. I just wasn't a big fan of him being drafted that high. There's a difference, yeah. There's a difference with it. So that's my only concern. But his knee needs to stay healthy. Oh, thanks. Hey, Corey, what's the word on Jimmy G? Very good question. There's still some trade talks, but it's on hold. There's talks between, I don't know, like it would be kind of interesting just to give you guys the quarterback. I mean, I thought you guys were going to get Baker Mayfield, so maybe we'll see what happens. But there's been talks. I think they're letting his agent do some talking so he can get some discussions with other teams. And I think there's only a couple of teams that might be interested, but I don't even know if Carolina's interested because they're going for Baker Mayfield. So I'm hoping that it's not true, but I'm hearing word on the street that Seattle might be interested. And I just hope, no, please don't give. Yeah. Now we're still in talk. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm thinking because you guys have like Mayfield on the discussion. So that's why I'm saying that's out of the table. Yeah, Mayfield to the Panthers. Yeah, I'm hearing Mayfield because they're pushing for it. So that's why I'm saying, because before that, you could have said that maybe Carolina was in the mix, but they're not. So they're pretty much on the Mayfield sweepstakes. I think they want to get like a cheaper compensation, because maybe Baker Mayfield has cheaper value than Jimmy because he's not like older. He's a lot younger and he can be in a better situation. But as far as like a team that's interested of Jimmy Garoppolo, it could be, I don't know, maybe like I'm hoping it's not Seattle, but if it leans to Seattle, I'm gonna hate this idea. If we send him to Seattle, bro, this would be disrespectful. I don't want nobody within our damn division. I don't want him in Seattle. Send him to Atlanta for all I care. Send him to Atlanta because at least we don't have to suffer twice a year. I'd be okay with him going to Atlanta. I'd be okay with him going to New Orleans. Yeah, that would be interesting because they'll be more competitive, but they're in the mix. Maybe the Houston Texans, if they're not fully convinced with Davis Mills, then I would see maybe, but no, they like Davis Mills, so I don't think it's going to happen otherwise. Yep. Mayfield would probably make the most sense because Carolina desperately needs a quarterback, and all they need is a quarterback, and maybe with the defense they got, they could maybe at least get into the wild card if they have a quarterback. And to be realistic, Mayfield isn't that bad of a quarterback. He led Cleveland to the playoffs, and they won their first playoff game in how long? 1995, right? So let's put that out the door, or whatever long they was. But they won it under Belichick that year. Yeah, that would be the interesting factor. When I scouted Drake Jackson during mock videos, I saw him as more of a Leonard Floyd or Deion Jones than a Eli Harold. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Oh, wow, yeah. Texans looking at Jimmy G also. Well, I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, Texans were allegating condoning Watson's behavior. They might lose draft picks. That's news to me. My question is, are the Cleveland Browns going to suffer? Because they pretty much just traded for Watson, and they paid him a lot of money. I don't know what's dumb. Cleveland fans were probably that excited that they got a new quarterback, but then they're going to suffer. So what's going to happen? Is he going to be so suspended again? I mean, the guy spent a year out of the league, right? Wouldn't that kind of be pity if the NFL still suspends him for another year? Oh, my God. The Cleveland Browns would be pissed. Like, you move on for Baker Mayfield, right? But why not you get an insurance policy? Hopefully the Browns can pull off something because I don't know. The Deshaun Watson trade, I just wasn't buying into the Watson trade. I kind of like actually thought when they made that move, the Browns, I even said it right off the bat that the Browns were pretty much the stupidest team in football. Like, why would you mortgage your entire freaking season for a quarterback, and then you piss off Baker Mayfield by getting that quarterback? And then it kind of ruined the marriage with Matt Ryan and the Falcons, and that's what happened, yeah. Oh, they wouldn't let him play. But he was still out of the league. So I guess he would be considered first suspended this season. Partly because they put him because he didn't play, because he hold out. Yeah, you're right about that, CBG. Because he did hold out and he refused to play, and that's where the charges and all that. That's why he was out of the league. But he wasn't he didn't play. So maybe this is the first season where he will be suspended. And this is where the Cleveland Browns are kind of stupid. Why would you trade for this guy? Just because he's all gifted, right? Because he's all that good. But I don't want to deal with off the field allegations with this guy. But that's the Browns' problem now. Texans have dealt with this guy. So let's think about it. If Watson's was that viable, dude, I just think that Browns are going to be screwed if Watson gets suspended and they trade us Baker. Dude, that would be pretty much the dumbest move by far. Early in the offseason, a lot of Browns fans were jumping joy. Now they're going to be fucking pissed if he gets suspended for the full year. And that will be his officially first season from what you're saying, CBG, because he held out. So you're right about that. Yeah, that's going to be a screw up move. And the fact is, you got to wait and see what happens. Yeah. Yeah, he has to reach a settlement because a lot of the lawsuits, I think it's 23 chicks, right? 23 ladies that he kind of intentionally allegate he raped. I don't know the details of it, but he's been facing a lot of it. It's a lot to do with the massage parlors and all the other chicks from Houston. A lot of this stuff, they're saying that he touched her or this. I don't know, man. Sometimes I can't take seriously with some women's situations. They gotta have a good argument, but for some reason, I'm not discounting on females saying stuff like that, but sometimes it's kind of BS. Why would I say it's BS? Because some chicks tend to make up stories sometimes, but then they got legitimate arguments, but I don't know. It's hard to believe stories out of women when they want to get somebody with money. Yeah, he offered women 100 to each settle, and they turned it down. Yep. And dude, with $100,000, that's kind of that. Dude, that's good enough to get something out of it. But I guess they want a lot more of those gold diggers, right? Them gold diggers. More allegations started to come as soon as he went to the Browns. Hey, dude. So what kind of makes it the dumbest offseason move? Dude, nobody's going to be talking, everybody's going to be talking shit about the Browns, bro. Maybe they should have stuck with Mayfield despite his off-the-field tactics. They were better off with Mayfield. At least Mayfield's not facing rape charges or allegations. I mean, Mayfield may be the most immature player, but this guy does not face any allegation rape cases, man. This guy has a wife. Why would he want to do that? Cleveland just screwed up everything, bro. You had a legitimate franchise quarterback in Mayfield, and you threw that shit away. That's what I don't understand. Just for the Cleveland Browns, just for the outside looking in for the Cleveland Browns. You haven't won a playoff game until Mayfield won you a playoff game. So you threw that away. The guy had everything for Cleveland. But you want to blame it on Mayfield, right? You want to blame everything on Mayfield. It's not his fault that the play calling is trash. So what kind of difference is it going to make with Watson? Watson is Watson has everything now. But he's facing allegation. That's the fun part. They want his big bucks. Yep. What's up, man? Cleveland clowns. Yep. They're pretty much just a trash. Yeah. One of the women were fake crying while being interviewed about Watson. Yeah. But Watson put himself in that predicament, man. I know sometimes these females can make up stories and it's BS, but yeah, like I've said, watch Mayfield succeed elsewhere then. Yeah, dude, outside of Cleveland, they always succeed somewhere else. You look at a lot of players. We can put in Odell Beckham. He left Cleveland and went to the Rams, won a Super Bowl. End of story. But so let me see if CBG is still here. So how do you feel about your quarterback situation? Do you feel like that's why you guys are going for Baker Mayfield? If Baker comes here and he probably beat out Darnold, and if he gets the offense down, to be honest. I feel like if he comes into Carolina, you guys have nothing worse. You guys have a lot to improve because with Mayfield, you can't get any worse than what you guys are right now. Because last year you guys were like top 5 in some perspective in the lower, yeah. But they don't want to rush Matt Corral. Corral is a young quarterback. You guys drafted him like third round or second round, I believe, but he was coming out of Ole Miss. So I don't think you guys want to rush him because he's like, I guess you can say he's kind of like a typical project. You want to develop him and make sure he learns your offense. And I think drafting Matt Corral was more like upside, kind of like how we had with Trey Lance. But I think as long as you get somebody like a Baker Mayfield, that makes the most sense. You give him a couple of years to learn. But Sam Darnold, you guys could just cut him at any moment if you guys choose to. But I don't know. Sam Darnold had some cool upside, but the Jets were just terrible, whatever way you look at it. But speaking of upside, if Carolina just has a quarterback, if they could just get him Baker Mayfield, they could at least compete. Tampa Bay will probably be the only team that competes out of the division. Atlanta's just like a team that's still rebuilding, so they're not going to do squat with what is it, Marcus Mariota or Desmond Ritter? I don't know. Atlanta's in for a rebuild, and they're already losing a lot of receiving core, so they got to start from scratch. New Orleans Saints, it's kind of like the mystery unknown. Nobody knows what to expect from the Saints. Can Jameis Winston be the answer? We've all seen the answer come from time to time, and he's proven time and time again that he doesn't seem like the answer. But they're rolling the dice with Winston, so they're hoping that he can be the guy. But for an outside looking in, Tampa Bay does not have a backup plan after Brady. So as soon as Brady retires, that is a wrap. Yeah, get that like button, everybody. What about Dax losing weight? What do you mean Dax losing weight? Like Dak Prescott? Are we talking about Dak Prescott losing weight? I think he's like 240, right? So he dropped a little weight. He looks so much smaller. Oh, you're talking about Dak Prescott, right? Okay, Rams barely improve at all. Niners chance to dominate the division. I hope you're right, man. I hope you're right. Speaking of Carolina Panthers, dude, I need to get you on the show. I couldn't find no Panthers fan on my show, so I need to get somebody for Carolina Panther knowledge and all that stuff. And I figure you're like at least on the top of my list because I've tried to reach out with some Carolina content creators of your fan base, but they seem like hot shots out there. So maybe with you have better understanding. You know more football, so you probably have more upper edge, and you're like the guy that comes up close to the team. So I figured that's where I come to with CPG. You got the Panther knowledge, so I definitely need to get you on. Yeah, Rams barely improved because they got Bobby Wagner. Wagner is pretty much like their strength now, but he's not the same player. But as far as like their receiving core, they kind of downgrade a little bit. And I'll tell you why the Rams have downgraded for a little bit. Because you go from a Robert Woods to an Allen Robinson. Allen Robinson can't stay healthy. Yeah. I got you, man. Yeah. Oh, okay. I'll follow you, dude. But I think I tried to follow you on Twitter, but I don't think you responded back to me. But we can definitely catch on with it. Yeah, for sure. And we could definitely get you on the show during the season, too. So I definitely need a Carolina fan. I'm cool with it, man. So let's see. So when you look at the Rams, Robert Woods to me was like the heart and soul of that offense. He was a good blocker. He was underrated. He was making key catches. But yeah, Cooper Kupp is a difference maker. Cooper Kupp is great, but don't take away Robert Woods because Robert Woods was like that bread and butter to that offense. Even without Robert Woods when he was injured, I still think the Rams wouldn't have gone as further without Robert Woods' durability. Robert Woods was a good blocker. So how are you going to replace him from Allen Robinson? So Allen Robinson, to me, like he's just not the same player. He gets hurt a lot. And I just think that might backfire the Rams now, but I do as an outside looking in for the Rams, I think their receiving core is pretty raw because you got Van Jefferson, who's actually one of their most underrated receiver now, and then you got Cooper Kupp as their best receiver. Then you got Allen Robinson. To me, is like, I guess you can say he's like the third best of their team right now. I don't think he's that good anymore. He wasn't even the best receiver for the Bears. So what makes you think he'll do any better? Like, he might just be a nice compliment number 2 receiver, but he won't be a number 1. And then you look at the Rams running game. Cam Akers, he didn't show much last year because he was coming off an injury, but now that he gets a full offseason of recovery, maybe you'll see him play for once and not have injuries this time. Yeah, they did barely improve. Yeah, you can't tell that because they're going to get better. Also, the Lance treats Stafford like he's some kind of god. Oh my god, dude, that is crazy. Straight up, straight up, man. I don't know, man. As far as the Rams, they barely improve, but they don't have a Von Miller. Sorry to say it, but they don't have a Von Miller. They don't have a guy that kind of closes out games for them. And yeah, their linebacking core was trash last year. So you think, adding Bobby Wagner to me does kind of improve a little bit of their linebacking core, because the Rams have actually had hard times covering tight ends because of the linebacker position and because their secondaries couldn't keep up with certain ways. So you think maybe adding a Bobby Wagner does make a difference. And plus, he may not have the same step as he once had, but the Rams think they got themselves a good leader, which Bobby Wagner is a damn good leader for this team. He was a good leader for Seattle, but I think with his leadership, the Rams are going to get a lot better on the defensive side of the ball. But on offense, I feel like we'll see what happens. Their offensive line is kind of okay. It's kind of like a young team on the offensive line. So their offensive line could be very unproven because Andrew Whitworth retired. And the tackle spot is kind of a question mark because who's going to replace Whitworth's spot? And all I hear is this Notaboom guy, whatever his name is, from that they just signed. They re-signed him because he was like a capable backup and had potential to be a starter elsewhere. So they're pretty invested with that guy. And then they just re-signed their center. I think they just got a guard that they just drafted in the 3rd round to be the starter. I think they drafted that, what's his name, Logan Bruss, whatever his name is. I think they project him to be the starter. So I think that's pretty much what the Rams came away with was that guy to be the starter, and the rest of them were all backups and developments. The Lambs just got older, and they ain't winning shit. I hope so. Yep, he can be out for a while, so we'll see about it. Yep. Let's see what you guys got in mind. I feel like on the Niners defensive side, I feel like we've improved a lot in our edge rush. Secondary was one of our biggest question marks. So you go into the offseason to solidify your secondary. You get a Travarius Ward, who's pretty much the most underrated cornerback from the NFL, and he was the Chiefs' best cornerback, and the Chiefs moved on. His value went up high, and the Chiefs didn't value him as much as everybody thought he was, but we got him on a pretty solid deal. Maybe at the time you could have said, man, we overpaid this guy. Not really. He kind of has the ability to be a really good cornerback. You put him and Emmanuel Mosley in the secondary, and then you look at our safeties. Okay, Jimmy Ward, all the time he's always been the most proven guy. Tolino Hufanga, I'm hearing a lot of good buzz about this kid, and he's standing out. So he can really read this coverage, and he's really catching on. Last year, it was just learning experience. I don't really I'm not concerned about the game speed for Hufanga. People are going to say, oh, he runs a 4.6. He's not fast enough to cover the deep passes and all that stuff. No, you just have to have this. Just got to have your brain and use it the right way. And Hufanga, to me, just has a savvy veteran. Like, he kind of seems like he's played in this league for 10 years, but it's his 2nd year. So he kind of has that mentality like he's been around longer. So you kind of get that from young players with that mentality. Then linebacking cores, it's pretty much like strength to our defense, and we've been all good. So yeah, I feel like this defense is pretty much our best strength. Our running game, dude, our running game is so damn stacked. Like, dude, I don't even know how many running backs we're gonna keep this year. Last year we kept 4 people and barely had like 1 or 2 guys on our practice squad. So that's the only question mark is which running back are we gonna keep this year? I'm pretty convinced it's gonna be Elijah Mitchell, Trey Sermon, I don't know, Jeff Wilson maybe, and then Ty Davis Price. If that's how we're going to go. See, if I had to go with roster predictions for our running backs, I think we'll be lucky to keep 4 this year because it's pretty talented. So it might come down to Jeff Wilson actually making that last spot. And he's viable too. So he's fairly good. Jermichael Hasty and what's that dude's name? Mason? Mason, dude, that kid Mason could be raw, bro. I don't know. This wouldn't be a shocker if Mason could actually beat out Jeff Wilson. That kid is pretty raw from Georgia Tech that we just picked up. He was undrafted. Everybody's talking about this kid from Georgia Tech. He's actually standing out. He's kind of outperforming Ty Davis Price a little bit. And then you look at some of our undrafted guys. Leon O'Neal. I don't know if he'll have a chance to make the roster, but dude, he's taken the most out of his opportunity. Our offensive line, it kind of does have a question mark because you have 3 of the positions open and it's very unproven. Alex Mack retires, gives us a question mark. Jake Brendel stepping in. Can he be the guy? That's the question. Aaron Banks, he's going to make a leap to be our starter. Is he the answer to replace Tomlinson? We'll find out. I'm guessing it's either Daniel Brunskill playing that guard spot on the other side. That's pretty much anybody's question. That's just something to look at. So when I look at the team, McGlinchey, I don't know if he's going to be playing the season opener, but hopefully he's healthy enough to play. That's how I look at it. But Trent Williams, when healthy, he's always been the best. Like, I just feel like our offensive line is kind of like our biggest question mark. As far as like secondaries, like cornerbacks, I felt like that was addressed, but it's yet to be proven. So, you got to wait and see what happens. Edge rushers to me is like, I'm already convinced that our edge rushers can be really good. It can be the best. Our defensive line, like our D tackles, it's pretty much something we can look into. A healthy Javon Kinlaw, a much healthy Maurice Hurst Jr. could be a difference maker too. Or if Hassan Ridgeway can actually beat out some guys, Kevin Givens. I mean, there's a lot of quality depth. And my boy Kevin Atkins from Fresno State, can he actually make the most of his opportunities to make the roster? We'll see. Khalil Davis, I don't even think he's going to play this year. He's going to be redshirted. So I don't think there's no need to rush this kid. He's coming off an ACL injury, so why even rush the kid? Let him recover for the full season. Put him on the IR and stash him for next year. That would be the smart way to go. So you can hold a roster spot for next year. I mean, Khalil Davis does have potential. He comes out of UCF. He's got good skill set. He was a linebacker coming out of college, and then he switched to D tackle, which is a crazy transition to go to. So you go from being 250 to 300 pounds. Doesn't come overnight. And then you look at a guy like Samuel Womack. Can he actually be the guy to play the nickel spot? We'll see. Tariq Castro Fields, can he be the answer? We'll see. Can he actually make the team? We'll see about it. Brock Purdy, I don't know. I'm hoping Brock Purdy beats out Nate Sudfeld. I don't know. I'm just not a Nate Sudfeld fan. Let's see. Offensive line. Spencer Burford. Can he actually be the answer? We'll see. Maybe he could beat up Daniel Brunskill. We'll see. They do list him as a guard, so we'll see what happens. Maybe Aaron Banks doesn't stay healthy, and maybe that's where Spencer Burford takes the most out of it. You never know. You never know. That's why you need quality depth. You got Jalen Moore that can do that too. Colton McKivitz, I don't know. He might just have to be on the practice squad. So we'll see about it. But if you guys got any more questions before I end the stream, appreciate every one of you guys coming by. Just wanted to do a little chit chat about Drake Jackson, but it kind of went from a Drake Jackson topic to a Baker Mayfield and Watson topic, and then it went from a Panthers topic. I'm cool with everything you guys got to mix in. It's all good. We'll figure out something. Just get a little tired. Man, I still feel tired from work, man. I'm so beat. Just from the night shift, man. It gets pretty tiring. So, speaking of the updates, man, I got some good news, guys. In the coming weeks, I'm gonna get that Jet Scout guy, that Daniel Kelly guy, the guys that you guys can't stand, the one that kind of make it kind of a weird kind of argument. I want to debate with this guy, and I've actually been pushing on Twitter about it, and he's kind of been inboxing me back and forth and all that stuff. So that's the only way I looked at it. And then he kind of like gave me a schedule, so we'll figure out something down the road. Are the Bears trash? Are they trash? Let's answer that question, David. Are they trash? Yeah. I mean, the NFC North, the Lions are fourth place, the Bears third, and then the Vikings, and then the Packers. So, do I think the Bears are trash? Yeah, they are. They can't even beat the Packers. Come on. I mean, they are barely better than the Lions. They're barely better than Detroit. Minnesota, not even close. Green Bay, it's like a far long shot for them to be better. So as far as the Bears, yeah, they are fucking trash. That's your answer right there, dude. I got you your answer. Whew. And Butters, if you're listening, Butters, I respect you, but fuck your Bears. Fuck the Chicago Bears, Butters. You can stick on that shit. The dawn of the sports community has said, suck it. Is Rodgers still a Packer? That's the question everybody wants to know, because he's been like holding out or been sitting out. He hasn't been doing too much. So we'll see what happens. Maybe that's what convinced Devontae Adams to leave, so he can go for a quarterback, like whatever way. Hey, man, I've been thinking about going into radio broadcasting or some sorts of where I can use my voice to make a living. Good to see you still grinding, man. Appreciate it. Cool. I say Packers first. Oh, crazy juice. Don't piss off Butters. You put them below the Lions. I appreciate it, man. Yeah. Yeah, Ismail, you should at least try to make a channel. Hey, make a channel. Maybe I'll put you on my broadcast, bro. Maybe I'll put you on one of my podcasts on a daily. Maybe I'll put you separately. Just make one, man. Not that hard. If you want to be a successful YouTuber, just make a channel. You don't have to use your actual name. You can just use something with a different name. You could put Izzy Niners or whatever works for you, man. Izzy Dog Niners or something, dude. You just have to catch on with everything, dude. If you want some advice to make some content, just inbox me. That's it. If that's what you want to do. Hey, anybody who wants to do some content, man, push for it. Go for it, man. If you have a dream and you envision to do that, dude, then do it. Do it for the passion. Don't do it for the money. Do it for the passion. I started to learn that it's not even about the money no more. At first, I was kind of having my moments of the money, but dude, I'm not even concerned about money no more. It's a blessing to at least make extra, but I don't have to worry about it. Before that, it was kind of getting to me a little bit with the money. But now that I'm kind of enjoying a little bit of life and not worried as much as I used to, it's all good. As far as the memberships, it's up to you guys if you guys want to join, but I have to reapply on the 19th, so you guys got to wait and see what happens. But as far as like everything else, so yeah, if you guys want me to have Rene Dupree, you just have to PayPal, but I'm not asking, I'm not begging like everybody else. If you guys want me to bring Rene Dupree, that is up to you guys. And to make this pretty abundantly clear, I did put $100 under my PayPal. All I need is $100 more to pay for Rene. That's it. If you guys can do a little bit of your part, like maybe like $5 or $10 of a difference, dude, that makes it easy for me to actually get Rene in quickly. But it's common sense. I already put in $100, so I just need $100 more to get Rene Dupree on. So it's up to you guys. And as far as my upcoming guesses, Rico Constantino, if you're a wrestling fan and you've been watching wrestling as long as me, you would know who that guy is. Straight up. You guys have everything to gain. Some of them are just willing to do it for free, and some of them are willing to do it for money. So it's up to you guys. Mighty Niners. Oh, we'll see. We'll see about it. I think Izzy Niner would probably be a catch. We'll see. But just push for it, man. You don't have to be like you don't have to just be like everybody else and comment, bro. If you have the admiration to make a YouTube channel, bro, just go for it. Don't hesitate, just go for it. 2019. I was just like you in 2019. Didn't even have a content. Started my channel until 2020, but I was always like one of those guys that would comment on people's channels. But as soon as everybody kind of encouraged me to do a channel, I started doing it. 2020 became officially a channel I started to establish. 2019, I was just like you guys, commenting on people's pages and wasn't really doing much, you know? I was just like a regular content creator, dude. I was just like Eddie, bro. I was just like him. I was just like him at first, you know? 2019, I was just commenting on people's channels. And it took me from there. How did I go from being like that to a 3K subscriber? It took a while. What's up, Eddie? What is up? And you know what's even great? I get to go on the NFC West Network. I'm a part of the division talks. And it's great that the AZ Sports fan vouches for me. And Pale Time got my back. And everybody in our division just vouches for me. What's up, Brian Cole? What is up? What's up, Butterfly? It's good to see everybody for once. It's kind of been rare that I haven't done much streams lately. You know, it's kind of been a while. So it's time for me to bring back a little bit. But if you guys want me to bring Vince Russo or Rene Dupree, gotta pitch in a little bit. That's it. I'm not even begging for nothing. But it would be a lot quicker to get the guy on the show. But it's up to you guys. Yeah, hit that like button for sure, for sure. It's great to see everybody come onto the channel, especially some other guys I haven't seen for quite a while. What's the best way to get more views on YouTube? Is it just being consistently with videos you put out? Yeah. Yeah, you just have to put in videos consistently. What's the best way to make your channel, bro? Is you got to start... just do 49ers content, bro. Just do like 49ers daily reports or just kind of edit your videos. Like anytime they do some 49er like short clips, make a little short clip, but try to edit to your own videos. Do a live stream on a daily, bro. If you do a live stream on a daily, you just pass it on with people to subscribe your channel. Get on Twitter, promote your channel. Start doing like a weekly call-in show, even though it's not a big channel. Get some people in or get a co-host to actually help you with your channel, and that's a start. Just put in some content that fits you. If you are like realistically, if you're brutally like I am, then do what I do. CG, the YouTube channel is awesome. You are living my dream. bro, one day. Oh, you don't know anything about wrestling? Well, thank you for the compliment, Bryant. I'm just kind of living the dream. I'm kind of enjoying. I go from at least a guy that was just a regular watcher in 2019, and I become a 3K subscriber. It doesn't come overnight, but it's a blessing. Yeah, I am here for the very nice content. It's fine. You don't have to watch my wrestling content, but I do 49ers content on a daily. I still do 49ers content. I just love wrestling. It's my passion. It's like, I don't know what people get upset about. I'm still going to do 49ers content, whether you guys like it or not. I'm still going to do the NFC West. I'm still going to do NFL news. What's the change? I love wrestling. Wrestling's my passion. Let me give you a fun fact about wrestling. You know what the first sport I fell in love with? You guys be surprised. Professional wrestling. One of the first sports I fell in love with. Watched it as a kid, a little tiny kid. Growing up in the state of Texas, watching a little small TV on the station, whatever it was, when I was a little kid. My mom would just put on the TV on, and I'd tell her, "What's that, Mom?" And then she just said, "Oh, that's wrestling." And I checked it out, watched it as a kid, and I remember watching The Undertaker or Macho Man, and I remember watching these guys as a kid, and I always wanted to do that. And then as I grew older, I started wrestling my cousins and my friends, and we started wrestling the trampoline, started having fun with wrestling, started doing amateur wrestling. That's okay. Nah, no sweat, man. Yeah, I just switch it up a little bit. It's my first love of the business is wrestling. Yeah, I like you just saying I don't. That's okay, man. You don't have to have the same interests as me. I just love wrestling with passion, and it's something I enjoy. And people have been pushing for me to get the wrestling content, so I kind of been taking a little bit of a little push of it. But yeah, hey, it's cool. Niners content is what you like. That's fine. Wrestling is like for other people. Dude, I get a lot of audience out of wrestling too. It's good to switch it up a bit. Yeah, it is. Especially with my guesses. Dude, I'm going to get wrestling guesses and football guesses. Dude, I just love that. I want to be more than just a 49ers content creator. I want to be the mix of wrestling. I don't know if there's any 49ers content creator or anybody in our community that can expand their channel into a wrestling community. I mean, the closest I can think of is maybe Naylor, but he's not a wrestling fan. I don't think he's a wrestling fan. He's more of a UFC guy. So I'm more of a wrestling fan. Eddie Guerrero was why I watched wrestling back in the days every Thursday. True Warrior. Every Thursday and Friday night SmackDown. But, dude, growing up. Oh, you know what? Let me give you guys a wrestling story. You want to know my first event watching wrestling at a live event? Want to know where I went to? Here's a fun story. So I was like 14 years old, and it was my first time going to a wrestling event. Because, I was watching it as a kid on TV. So when I found out that my uncle decided to get some tickets to a wrestling event, man, it was at the Cow Palace, by the way. It was at the event that when Eddie Guerrero won the championship. He won the WWE championship, and I was on top of the nosebleed or something like that. So I watched that event, and I still have those memories. The day that I was so pumped up. Even though Goldberg actually helped Guerrero win the match, it just felt like Guerrero deserved to win, even if he cheated. Even if Guerrero cheated like most of his careers, you had a good vibe that he deserved his moment. And it was just one of those days I look back, and it's just one of those beautiful moments, bro. Watching him just go on top and then pulling the California flag and then going on top of the crowd, bro, was one of the nicest moments I've ever seen. And then, let's see. I actually met a couple of wrestlers back then, but Rey Mysterio was another guy I met because of my cousin. But I get it, yeah. I was born in Texas, but grew up in Texas as a kid, but Brownsville. Came from a town in Brownsville in a farm area, but lived there in a short time. only remember watching wrestling as a kid, like a little kid, and then moved to California as a youngster, and then lived in California my entire life. But growing up in the state of Texas, in Texas, there was football and wrestling. They took that seriously. But that's where I came from, was in a small town. Even was born in Dallas, but was growing up in a small farm area. Yeah, Brownsville, I've been there. Yeah, like Brownsville is like a blue chip town, blue chip city. It's nothing but hard work. Yeah, I think. Oh, I think Hulk Hogan lives in Lodi. You think so? Yep, that's facts right there. Yeah, Brownsville is like it's like a blue chip city. It's right next to the border too. It's right next to the border of Mexico. So yeah. Oh, that's cool, man. But hey, you guys have every right to have your voice opinion. But hey, like Brian Cope says, man, I respect you. I respect your opinion. I know it kind of went from football to a little wrestling, but it's all good, you know? It kind of interests me a little bit about wrestling, but I don't know. Let's see what happens, guys. But yeah, man, it's getting by. It's going by an hour, and hey, I enjoy having you guys come around. And as far as like everything else, man, so I don't really like. I just enjoy it. I enjoy the fact that I have the balance. I enjoy the fact that I can do whenever I want to do a live stream. I don't have to do it every day. I just choose to because I want to give you guys something to look forward to. But lately, I'm not too pressure with it. So in the upcoming weeks, I should have some more guesses coming up. So we'll see. Dude, Rico was funny, bro. Dude, so Rico Constantino's like at the end of his career, he was supposed to be like kind of like Adrian Street character, like an Adrian Adonis type, and he kind of took it up to the next level. Bro, he went super, dude. Nobody didn't even notice if he was like gay or straight, you know, because that's how confusing his character was. But it was brilliant. And speaking of Sunday, okay, so I was on the phone with Rico Constantino like for like 30 minutes on the phone. He was giving me some stories about his wrestling days and what got him into it, and then backstage stories, dude. They are something that you guys want to tune in for. So it's pretty golden. So when Rico Constantino told me some good stories, bro, you guys, as soon as you guys see him on my show, he's gonna go on for hours. So tune in, get your popcorn ready. He told me some pretty good stories for 30 minutes of his time. We were just chit-chatting, figuring out a schedule. And dude, he just has a lot of good ones. Like, besides his character for that, yeah, it's crazy, dude. It's good. Rico Constantino, bro, you guys are going to like this guy. He's cool. Very good dude. Very good down-to-earth guy. Talked 30 minutes of his time. He wanted to figure out a schedule. He wanted me to call him, so I called him. And then we just chit-chatted for 30 minutes. And then after that, we just figured out a schedule, and then that was it. This guy's a good storyteller. And then in the coming weeks, on June 27, I'm going to get you Kenny Bolin, Star Maker. I'm going to get you a guy who was once Jim Cornette's best friend. And if you guys know who Jim Cornette is, I'm going to have his old buddy, his old best friend, Kenny the Star Maker Bolin. I don't know if you guys are too familiar with him, but I've actually kind of clipped a couple of his content videos. And I do go on his channel. I am a little bit of his membership. I am a part of one of his jobber stuff, but he's got a good channel. He does a lot of charity for the Philippines, but if you guys want to help him, that's up to you guys. He does it for a good cause. He's a good dude. He might give me some connections for Vince Russo, so we'll see. Maybe I might get some connections with him. But yeah, he seems like a good dude, so it's probably going to go on for hours with this guy. But I'm going to give you guys some wrestling and football. Wrestling, maybe during the offseason, I'll do that. But regular season, it's strictly football. Offseason, I can do wrestling, dude. So that will be my schedule. Schedule for the offseason, it'll still be football and wrestling at the offseason. Regular season, it's going to be strictly football. Off season, I can do football because there's not much to put out there. So I could do it that way. And that's how I should keep it that way. But hey, I'll catch you guys later. Appreciate you guys. I'm going to end it. Good 1 hour stream. I got to get ready. I got to get ready for another shift tonight. Just wanted to stop by. Sorry if I forgot. I had it scheduled for 3 p.m., but I freaking slept because of the night shift. But appreciate you guys. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.